good morning and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. Now let us know folks, can you hear us? Is there any sound this time? First and foremost.
Mr. Clifford, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? we will get there, I'm afraid.
Jesus.
We will get there. Yeah, as I said, we are joined by Alan Stirling and Mr. William Glavin. It is a Celtic versus Leipzig Champions League preview. We'll try again. Good morning, lads. How are we?
Morning.
I know we've been through this already. We've done this a 4 days, vu. But I do apologise for the sound, guys. I don't know what had happened there in the previous stream. And I hope you, the commenters and everybody else, haven't switched off and you are still available to see us this morning. Like I says, we are here in the morning and we're going to go through a wee preview for you about Celtic's opponents tonight in the Champions League. It is good to have Alan back with us. Your wee patch have been incapacitated for a wee while. I hope you're well now, mate.
Hardly incapacitated. I think it was more a kind of looks kind of thing. So I did go through this when we were on kind of mute there, but I had a kind of stye, I spot my eye. It was the size of a kind of golf ball, so I was struggling to open my eye. So I didn't want to come on and get abuse for looking like...
You've done 10 rounds with Jake Paul.
Oh, sloth at the Goonies or something. Aye, something like that. So, I thought I'd wait till it was more or less better. But I have missed the pod. Obviously speaking about the team we love, especially after the result and the performance at the weekend there, which was massively impressive. I think if we play our game to that kind of level again tonight, we give ourselves a kind of outstanding chance of coming away with kind of a point or 3, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
But it puts us in a good place, kind of the run of form we've been in, and hopefully we can continue that and onwards and upwards for tonight. Looking forward to it. Hope everyone in the chat's well, and obviously hope you two beautiful gentlemen are very well.
Yeah, I'm good. As he says, everybody that's in the chat, I hope you're all well. As you know, we had Barry Bannon on the podcast last night in the Dial, it was a good chat, William. Okay. Barry was on and with a great bit of insight for him. It's totally spun mine and Ryan's head in regards to how Celtic might set up tonight. So Barry reckons that Brendan might go exactly the same way as he did in Atalanta. So with Adam Ida coming in from the start to be the focal point.
Right.
And I hadn't thought about this until Barry said it, but now I see where he's coming from, because as Baz says, when you're up against top quality, you need a focal point in your team that can get you up the pitch and help you. Unfortunately, Kyogo's highly challenged that way, so he doesn't really have those attributes. I know what every Celtic fan's saying is they wouldn't change things because of me man's quality can get you goals, but sometimes it's not just about that. You know, sometimes it's about how you negotiate the other side of it, which is the physicality and obviously what you're up against as well.
And he's up against 2 physical defenders tonight, and Willie Orban and Klosterman that are at the back for Leipzig.
Is it still they two that are...
They have been playing together at centre back. They obviously lost Simikin, who's a fantastic player, but he went to Saudi Arabia for the bags of money that they're shipping out of Mohamed Simikin.
That was a big fella that played in the right, wasn't it?
Aye. So he moved on in the summer. He's been a big loss for them, I would say, definitely, with his physicality, and he can actually play as well. So he went to Saudi for all the riches that they're putting on football players at the minute in Saudi Arabia. But I can see where Barry's coming from. I think there is a chance that could happen, that either gives you that outball that you need, especially with Leipzig. If they're coming on to us a bit more in terms of the high pressure, you've got to look for that long pass to try and negate that pressure, whether you're playing it over the top or through the lines. So, I think there could be a chance that might happen tonight, and that could be the option. I think either is back fit now, isn't he, after his ankle injury from... I've seen him training and stuff like that. So
he came off the bench on Saturday as well.
So he did come off the bench on Saturday. So there's every chance that could happen,
Yeah, and obviously, as we've said, it's the preview of tonight's game. But just touching on yourself, William, first, do you feel there's been a change in Celtic for they got the draw in Atalanta? Do you see a wee bit more of a spring in their step? And
definitely, and I don't think there's any reason there shouldn't be. I think going back to that Atlanta game, which I predicted theuld be a defeat there, but we'll not say any more than that. But
somebody said it
I think I said it might have been 2-0.
I said we would win, to be fair.
Somebody says a draw,
I think
don't
that
they?
was
You big fella, but you say a one each draw.
Score draw. I think since that, by the way, like just touching on that game, every player was phenomenal that night, and I think that the way we played defensively really caused Atlanta problems to the point the last 20 minutes of the game it looked as if they'd ran out of ideas. And so I need to take my hat off to the players, the manager, the way it was done, the way they approached it, they executed the game plan. You could see there was a game plan right from the get-go and they executed it perfectly. So I think definitely from them, that result has really gave us that boost in confidence, I think, going forward.
Makes it a lot more impressive as well. You've seen the result with Atlanta.
I don't think they've lost a game since...
They beat Napoli away from home 3-0.
They've won games 2-0, 3-0, 2-0,
they're blowing people out. Lookman got a couple of goals at the weekend for them again.
And
so
the boy up front as well, he scored at the end, I think.
That's right. They're such a very good side, like a very good elite level side in Europe. So that result, especially in Bergamo, was phenomenal for us. Like that felt like a win to me, definitely.
And we pick up on a few comments.
So I'll just go through some of the comments, shall I? So Francis Lester, first of all, he's in with a hurry. I mean, we've got it right. We've got the sound right. He also says good morning. Frank Kennedy says it could be louder. That's your device, mate, no yours. You need to turn yours up, I'm afraid. Jerry Burns, action take 2. We have lift off. Morning, folks. Very good. And Jem, morning, JP, Alan, and William. Peter McGowan, he says hello all. Frank Kennedy again, not very loud. You'll need to turn your device up, pal. It's nothing to do with us.
The hearing aid?
Could be, by the way. It could be. Adi Oladipo, he says it's great to see William back on.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
He's commented a couple of times about you and obviously.
Oh, right, okay. Nice
getting you on
nice
and
to
stuff.
hear. Nice to hear.
P. McLaughlin, he says, everyone will talk about Sesko and Openda for the Leipzig, but Baumgartner, the Austrian international, is just as dangerous.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll touch on the squads as we go. There's no too many. Jerry Burns is here with one. He says, William, how do Leipzig play away from home? Are they a counter-attacking team, or do they just play their normal game?
I don't think there's much difference from whether they play home or away. It's all based on transitional football. Basically, obviously, as everyone knows, RB Leipzig are part of the Red Bull football group. So all of the teams throughout the Red Bull football group take the same sort of philosophy in terms of when you win the ball back, it's about how quick you can get to the opposition's goal, effectively. So what you'll probably find is when Leipzig, whether it's home or away, even Red Bull Salzburg, New York Red Bulls, whenever they regain that possession, they play 1 or 2 passes and they're in the opposition third. And they're putting the other team under pressure because the whole emphasis is when, if let's take for talking sake, Celtic are attacking, lose the ball in the middle of the park, they want to then counter-attack you quickly before Celtic can get back into their defensive shape, so that there's a bit of disorganisation at that point they can take advantage of. There's bits of space they can find in behind the pockets, behind the defender or down the half space. So to answer the question, I've not seen much difference between them home and away. The approach tends to be the same, whether it is home or away.
So going into tonight's game then, are you looking at us playing a kind of similar way we played against Atalanta away from home, or is it a wee bit different because we're at home?
I think it's different because we're at home.
Right.
I think...
Will we have the ball as well?
I think we'll have the ball more, to be honest.
Okay.
In tonight's game, listen, Celtic are all about dominating possession, keeping the ball, counter-pressing. I don't think that's going to change tonight. I think that we will be taking that approach, but the one thing that we do need to look out for is when we do lose that possession, how quick this team can really play. They'll really try to do it in 1 or 2 ways. They'll try and play a quick pass down the middle, or they'll try and find a quick pass out to the wide side, the wide areas of the field, and you'll see guys like Openda getting in behind the defenders. Sesko will probably drop a wee bit deep, causing some confusion between if it's going to be Carter Vickers and Trusty. Do we go? Do we stay? So they try and cause a bit of confusion that way, and just try and disrupt what your defensive line would probably look like.
Okay, so is it a wee bit different than for Atalanta in that they rotate in and out of positions and stuff? Or are they quite static?
I wouldn't say they rotate in and out of positions. I would say that with Atlanta, they very much rotated out of positions. You would find Martin de Roon drop into right back and things like that. This doesn't necessarily happen with Leipzig. What you'll find Leipzig will do is Baumgartner, who I can't remember, was it who mentioned Baumgartner there.
It was
Sorry,
one of the commenters.
One of the commenters mentioned Baumgartner will basically jump up beside Openda and Sesko. So basically they'll set up as a 4-4-2, right? That's how they're going to start off. Baumgartner and Nusa probably on the wide areas, Openda and Sesko up front. What you'll probably find is Openda and Sesko and Baumgartner will join to create a 3 in that front line. And then they'll probably go with like a kind of like a 4-3-3 almost at that point.
Right.
But Nusa will probably come inside as well and let the two fullbacks bomb beyond them. So you know that it's been Heinrichs and Gertrude who they signed to Feyenoord. They'll bomb up front
came up
as
against
well.
us last season.
Aye.
And
So
Arne Slot was there.
what they'll try, you'll probably see the two centre midfielders. They're more of pivots. So I think I spoke in the last
Is
game.
it still the boy Hadara plays with him?
Hadara is a good player.
So you're
He's a
going to
good
have
player.
6 up front, basically.
Well,
We
you're
need
going to have,
aye.
effectively, you're going to have, if it's starting a 4-4-2, Nusser and Baumgartner will join that to create a 3 or a 4 at points. So what they'll try and do is, when they win the ball, they'll get the ball to their 4 guys up front.
Yeah.
And then they 4 are against our 4 effectively. What we'll probably need to do is to try and give us that numerical advantage is McGregor's going to need to probably come back into that role and come back and try and help out in those points, which he normally does anyway, playing in his role. But Vermeeren and Hadira are the two central midfielders. They very, very rarely break forward. They basically act as two double pivots or two defensive midfielders effectively. They basically get the ball off the centre backs and they play it to the guys ahead of them, and they let the guys that up top, the 4 guys that we're talking about there, those are the 4 guys that are going to attack.
I tend to agree that I think we'll set up in a more attacking sense tonight in comparison from the Atalanta game. I'm the one that's been saying constantly we can't go toe to toe with the top elite clubs, but you take in a number of different circumstances. Leipzig have been beat 3 times, albeit against maybe better opposition.
Champions League.
We're playing at home. Our confidence is sky high at the minute. I don't think it's insurmountable for us to expect us to go and have a go at Leipzig tonight. I think Brendan will be thinking that way as well. I don't see us setting up kind of defensively. I think we'll go all out for this.
One of the key things about Leipzig just now as well, and we spoke about this off the pod, is they've got an injury problem at the minute in the team.
Big goalie, don't he?
No, so I think Gulatsky's going to make. He played the weekend against Dortmund, but Xavi Simons, who's a phenomenal, he's an elite midfielder. He picked up an injury in the last Champions League game that they had. I can't remember who they played, but he got an injury then. David Raum, who's been a fantastic left back for them, he's the type of guy that just basically runs up and down that left wing all day. He's out as well, and they've got Schlager, who actually plays as one of those pivot roles beside Hadira. They two had a really good partnership together, but Schlager picked up an injury at the end of last season. It's a cruciate injury. He's out for months. So those 3 players would play tonight if they weren't injured. So one of the things that is part of the Red Bull philosophy in terms of their transfer policy, they tend to sign players that are young. So they'll go and sign players that are probably 25 or below.
Nusa, exactly. He's Club Bruges, wasn't it?
Nusa was at Club Bruges. So
I think saying Arne Engels played with him. I'm pretty sure Arne touched
probably
on it.
did. He probably did. I would have been at Club Bruges, yep. So what the transfer policy is that they'll go and sign players very rarely above 25. So this year, Gertrude, who they've signed from Feyenoord, was 24. Every other player they've brought in, Nusa, Van der Voort is the sub-goalie, and Vermeeren, they're all early 20s teenagers, effectively. So these guys are obviously, they're taking a big step up in terms of going from where they were playing maybe at Club Brugge in Belgium into the Bundesliga. But they're going to come into Celtic Park, which is a bit of a cauldron for away teams coming in as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how they react to that as well. So that's why I feel tonight that, yes, we are playing an elite side. They're second in the Bundesliga. They've only lost 1 game, which was at the weekend against Borussia Dortmund.
Is that what put them into second, William? Because before that, they were top of the Bundesliga, weren't they?
So I think they'd obviously get beat at the weekend, so obviously I think they might be a couple of points behind Bayern. So what I was saying was they are a very good side. They have had some hard ties in the Champions League, but I think they've found the Champions League a wee bit difficult this year because I think they've lacked that wee bit of experience that they've had before. Guys like Simikin, guys like Dani Olmo, who obviously moved for big money to Barcelona. There's been a big gap in terms of who they've had in there. Angelino was another one that played at left right back, I think he was playing for them. So they've lost a bit of experience this year, but there's a lot of young guys that they're obviously trying to bring through. What I would say is young, inexperienced, but talented players that they've got in their team.
So wee question here for Ryan as well. Ryan says, William, I feel the boy Sesko will be hard to stop if he's on form. What's your opinion on him? And do you think he will be the main danger for him?
I actually love Benjamin Sesko. Like, he's a player I've looked at since he was back.
Is he 6'5"?
Aye,
Yeah.
but he's 6'5". He's fast. He can hit the ball with both feet. He can hit it with his head. He's almost like, he reminds me of Edin Dzeko. Remember Edin Dzeko played in Man City?
yes.
But he's quicker than him, which is a frightening prospect, right? But one thing I will say is Benjamin Sesko he's basically worked his way through the Red Bull clubs. Really, he was at Salzburg and he scored goals for fun in Austria. Got the move over to Leipzig, doing well. But interestingly enough, the way the team set up is you tend to find Openda's the last striker. He tends to try and make that run in behind the defence. But Benjamin Sesko tends to fall back into that number 10 role. So, taking Ryan's question, yes, I think he's a very, very dangerous player that we need to look at tonight. But also, I think it's going to be difficult for whoever's on him, whether it's Trusty or Carter Vickers. Do they go with him? Do they leave him? He's going to try and find pockets of space between the defence and midfield. That's basically his game, and what he'll do is he'll get onto the ball and he'll try and lay it wide, or he'll try and put the ball through for a Openda. But also, as well, as I said, this guy can score goals from anywhere. Right. He can score goals from outside the box, inside the box. So he definitely is a danger man for them tonight, 100%.
We want for P. McLaughlin here. He says, do you think Brendan Rodgers would totally surprise us and play 3 at the back with 2 wing backs to combat their 4 attackers?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he would rip up what he's done already.
It's pretty rigid with his formation. I know there could be minor kind of changes and what slight differences in the way you set
I would
up.
put it this way, I'd be shocked. I would be really surprised if he did do that. I think that yes, they're going to have those 4 guys coming onto your 4 defenders. But as I said, we're going to need to rely on Engels coming back, McGregor coming back, giving us that numerical advantage within our third. Because what they'll do as well is, in terms of how they press, they're a wee bit different for where them. So Tedesco was a manager before Marco Rosa, who's in charge of Leipzig now. Tedesco didn't really last very long, but Tedesco was really all about high intense pressure, a bit like us, counter pressing, really pushing us really far back as we can. Rosa's team don't do that. Rosa's team actually will let you play the ball side to side, and then they'll look for a trigger. Then they all press, but when they all press, they come right at you.
Controlled.
So it's like a controlled. So it's basically pressing triggers. They'll look for a trigger. A trigger might be that if we're playing the ball laterally, maybe 15 yards or more, so it gives them time to actually run onto it and get close to that man. Or if somebody miscontrols it, they'll jump on you as well, basically, or take too many touches, they'll try and jump on you. But going back to the question, do I think he'll change to that sort of back 5 almost? I don't think he will, because I think that if those 4 players are going to come up and press as well, I think McGregor and Engels need to be, and Hatate will need to be finding pockets of space just behind that line of pressure, so that then we get the ball, and then that takes the 4 players out of the game, really. And then we can turn the pressure back onto them if we can get past that.
That's a thing, William, as well. We've seen Celtic being able to do that, and being able to.
We can do that.
Rangers did it when he was at Celtic Park. They tried to press us high, and then Celtic, they had a go at doing it 2 or 3 times, and then when Celtic broke through, it was as if Rangers really panicked. And it was like, whoa. They've broke through us here, they know how we're going to play, and then after that we just
it's a risk and reward balance. You know, if a team's going to come at you like that, and as I said, you won't see Leipzig do that constantly. They'll wait for something for it to happen. But if they, put it this way, if they do it and they win the ball back, they're in a great position. But if we can play through it, and then that's maybe why Barry's thinking about Ida playing. If that pass isn't on to McGregor Engels, and they've got Hadira and Vermeeren coming right touch tight behind them, then you can hit the ball long Ida for him to then bring it down, and then those guys can spin off the markers and then go forward, and then you're obviously putting them on the back foot again. So
obviously Baz gave us a great insight last night, Alan, on that if the players might go through an analysis with Brendan and in the room and stuff, and go through the, you know, and then it's not until they actually go in the park. So Brendan might go, don't press them high because they can play out, they'll pop it a bit. But if their goalkeeper makes a mistake, and our players are intelligent enough, players have got good IQ, so guys like Kyogo, Maeda, Kun, with pace, will go, oh, he's kicked that out of play here, and it's like if they spot something on the back, then the tactic changes and they go right at it, Alan.
They'll tweak it.
I think as well, but the tactics kind of change all throughout the game as well. The management or the players will kind of tweak certain things depending on what they're watching in that particular game. So I do expect Celtic to be mostly on the front foot tonight. We do need to respect fully that Leipzig are a very, very good side. But being at Celtic Park, I think the three of us can speak for it as well. We are demanding Celtic to probably go for this team at Celtic Park. I don't think it would be our best result in history if we could get something off a Red Bull Leipzig. We have beat them at Celtic Park previously, whether that be a different setup for the Leipzig side.
Yeah.
But for us to pick something up tonight, it's going to be a massively hard task. Very, very difficult. But I'm quietly confident tonight that we can hold our own and at least put in a very decent performance. And I think it will be a close game.
What kind of team do you think Celtic will set up with then? Because obviously, I thought it was quite interesting when we went the weekend when Brendan done his post-match with the guys for Premier Sports, and he was talking about the reason why he put Trusty in was because of pace. You know, he's got more of a bit of turn of pace than Scales has.
Yeah, he has.
He also brings it. I mean, he's a colossal himself. He's a man mountain. He brings a physicality that unfortunately I don't think Liam Scales possesses, although he throws his head at most. But I just feel recently, and I don't know again if it's coming for the Atlanta game, the big fella's been gaining confidence and gaining more confidence that he can actually go and really establish himself and be one of Celtic's best centre backs.
I think that's the centre back pairing, to be honest. Now going forward, I think I was the same when Trusty first came into the team. He looked a little bit probably nervous, like he's playing at a high level and coming to Celtic. And obviously where he'd been at Sheffield United, there was obviously demands at Sheffield United, but coming at Celtic, you are expected to win every game. You're expected to have a flawless game. If he makes a mistake, it could create a goal for the opposition. So there was a bit of nervousness with him. I think that's gone. I think, if anything, the Atlanta games probably gave him the biggest boost. Yeah. Because I think since then he's really he just looks as if he's been there forever.
That night as well.
Aye, he was phenomenal that night. He was absolutely phenomenal. Never put a foot wrong, and we had to do that night to get that result, and fair play to him for obviously doing it and getting to that level of performance. But I think slowly he's been building his performances, and I think he is more natural to the left-hand side of the centre-back pairing as well, whereas he's been playing right. There's been a bit of imbalance there that you could see, but I think he looked, the last couple of games, obviously looked really comfortable, especially at the weekend there, like he sort of breezed through the game, I'd say, at the weekend, but I think that's definitely, I think the team that played actually on Saturday is our strongest team, to be honest. I do believe that's our strongest starting line.
I agree, yeah. I think it's maybe slightly harsh on Liam Scales.
Yeah.
I've not been Liam Scales' biggest fan over the last kind of number of months or so, but I think he's done exceptionally well for where he's came from.
I think it's harsh on him.
Slightly.
I think it is.
Slightly. I think it is, but at the end of the day, you need to play your best players. You need to give your best.
I feel for him.
I
do feel for him because I think he's probably been our most improved player for a long time. I think he's been phenomenal, and the run out. Players just need games, to be honest. Like it's really hard. It's probably hard for guys maybe like somebody. If you take Adam Eder as an example, see if Adam Eder maybe had 10 games, you'd probably see a massive improvement in his performance and his output. But it's really hard for him to get 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It's really hard to find that sort of rhythm that he's trying to find again. Liam Scales has had that for nearly 2 years, like going basically from where he started from to now. He's become an absolutely brilliant, a fantastic player, no nonsense defender. Puts his body in the line constantly. But this is the levels that Brendan's took our team to now. So he's demanding the best all the time. I don't see Scales sitting on the bench the whole season. He will be used at points, but I think in big games like this, I think it's going to be Trusty and Carter Vickers, and Scales will probably understand that because then it'll maybe give him another push to. I need to go on another level again. I need to get ahead of these guys now and push him to do a bit better.
Especially with Carter Vickers as well. The way his injuries have been over the last kind of couple of years, we need to use him carefully. We need to use him wisely as well. So I know
he really needs to play in these games. For
he's
me.
Got to. Oh, aye, 100%.
These are the games he needs to be fit.
He's a leader.
I don't care if he doesn't play against Dundee on Sunday. I want him to play. I know it's no Dundee we're playing on Sunday, folks. I know it's Kilmarnock. I was giving that as an example. I need him to play in these games.
Yeah. So you play this game and then maybe at the weekend you're Scales and Trusty. That's what I'm saying. So
you could do that.
Cherry pick his games that he's going to play because he's obviously the best defender we've got. But in regards to Trusty, if Brendan's kind of chosen to pay £6 million for a centre half, I think Brendan's probably his plans are to have Carter Vickers and Trusty to be working as centre back to going forward.
See, as Alan saying there, William, do you think that argument, Celtic paid £6 million for an extra centre back, is that just because to bolster the quality level of the squad, or is that to give us to obviously give us competition there as well?
Aye,
because obviously we're not getting that when Narotsky and well, so we need something else.
I think he doesn't rate Narotsky, he doesn't rate Lagerbielka, he doesn't rate Welsh.
Yeah.
They're played as a necessity, really.
Probably rates Welsh more than the other two.
He probably does, mate. In terms of the pecking order, mate, I think Narotsky and Lagerbielka are at the bottom, but I think he wanted to go out and get a defender that suited how his team plays.
Yeah.
And Trusty does suit how he plays. He's got pace, he can play, but he's strong, physical. And I think him going out and getting him really lifts the bar, is what I'm trying to say. That lifts the bar in that centre-back pairing. It's up to Scales really to go, right, I need to get to that point.
It's a great headache to have for Brendan, because now we've got three defenders there that are kind of fighting for their positions. So
yeah, definitely, mate.
So obviously now touching on the left-back position, obviously Alex Vai's came in, and for me he's done very, very well. I thought that was his best game for Celtic on Saturday. I don't know about you lads, but you've got the same argument there for him and Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's been a tremendous servant for us for the last number of years. He's done very, very well. He's been very successful. He's helped us lift trophies. Have we seen the same thing here with Taylor? Do we think it's harsh that Taylor's dropping out of the team for Vi, or do we just think that we're at a point now where Celtic have, we've developed on and we now have better players in these positions?
I think that Alex Valley is better than Greg Taylor. That's my opinion, and I think that's now come to fruition again, as I've said, just touching on there. Consistency of games, 90 minutes, constant, and he's got better every single game. I think obviously he started off at Falkirk, I think he came into the team, didn't he?
Yeah, there was actually a comment there by P. McLaughlin. He said that he's now thinking that the Falkirk game was a great exercise for our new players to really springboard into the team.
Yeah, I think he obviously struggled a little bit when he was up against I can't remember the Falkirk striker's name. The boy was really strong and he got really physical with him, and he was really getting a bit of pressure on him, and Alex was really trying to find his feet. But since then, he's pushed on, and I think I agree with you, that was his best game definitely at the weekend. But for me, Alex Valley starts every game now.
I noticed a big change in his physicality at the weekend. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the lad Shane Morris came on and tried to barge him out the way, and he man never even moved. He just looked at him.
I think he knows. I think he's obviously came from Spain. He's came from Barcelona. It's highly technical, the football over there. He's came to a bit of the rough and tumble of the Scottish football, and I think he's had to adjust. He's had to go, right, hold on a minute, right, is that what we need to do here? Right, that's what I'm going to do.
It's got that bit of added quality that maybe Taylor doesn't possess. Obviously, going through the kind of Barcelona youth system as well, they don't take on kind of players that are only up to that level. So he has got that quality. I think he's starting to show that he is probably slightly a better player than Greg Taylor at present. But as you say, the more games that he's going to play, I think he's just going to excel. And I think now it probably is his position to lose. I think there will be rotation like regards to Scales as well. But again, I think that's like coming back to what we said earlier. It's a great headache to have for Brendan. It means that we can now kind of rotate during games and keep players fresh as well. And the competition, as I say that, as you say, is it kind of it makes the other players want to perform better. It makes them kind of step up a level, and for that, it's overall a brilliant thing for Celtic as a whole.
Yeah. Couple of comments came in there. Peter McGoney says, I doubt CCV will be used on the Astro on Sunday. Just on that, Peter, he played in the game that we secured the league. We played that night on the Astro, so it wasn't a problem for him then. So just in case anybody thinks that seems to be an issue for him, but I understand where you're coming from, because I wouldn't play him just now.
It's not worth the risk, is it? It's probably not worth the risk.
Nobody's recovering, but William, obviously CCV getting nearly 60 odd minutes there in Sunday, you're probably looking at he's going to go again tonight.
I would say so, yeah. As I said, I think that's the centre-back pairing going forward for the big games, for his European games definitely. So yeah, I think he'll be playing. And
obviously touching on Leipzig again, so what is their kind of main strengths?
So to really touch on it, as I said, they'll set up as like a 4-4-2 in terms of their starting position. When they're going forward, what they try and do is they try and switch to that 4-2-4 or a 4-3-3. Nusa might drop into the midfield or drop into that number 10 position at the home. So the guys like Baumgartner and Nusa are the wide players, but they tend not to play wide. They tend to come inverted into the field. So you'll probably see in the game tonight them try to find pockets of space between the defence and midfield to get onto the ball and try and do something with it. When they've not got the ball, interestingly enough, what they were doing against Borussia Dortmund at the weekend there was Nusa was actually dropping back into left back, and they basically Gertrude, who's left back, Orban and Klosterman were shifting over and becoming a back three effectively.
Right, okay.
And Heinrich's obviously on the right hand side.
Was that upsetting them a tad then?
So basically, it was
forced to
stopping.
do that?
So I think what they looked at, they looked at what Dortmund had Jamie Gittins, Adeyemi, players like that.
Okay.
If they get one-on-one with a defender, they've got a problem. Do you know what I mean?
So they're trying to put an extra man.
They're putting an extra man in that position. So they'll maybe look at us tonight and say to ourselves, Maeda, Kuhn, you know, if Gertrude, who's I would probably say is more of a centre back than a full back, but he did play full back for Feyenoord. If Heinrichs and Gertrude are one-on-one with Kuhn and Maeda, that might be a problem. So you might find Nusa might do that tonight. He might drop back and it goes into a back five, which then gives you two men up against Kuhn and Maeda in those positions. Vermeeren and Hydra will just drop into midfield. As I said, they're just two sitting midfielders. Get the ball and push the ball to the forward line. And that's basically how they're going to approach the game, I think, going by how they've played this season.
So they don't really change much, they just kind of approach game by game?
Each game, definitely from like the Bundesliga stuff, it seems to... all the Red Bull teams have that similar philosophy. Some of them might be slightly different. You know, you might find that a team like Salzburg might go and press really quickly. Or, as I said, Marco Rosa tends not to do that. He tends to look for a trigger. So if it's a long lateral pass, if it's a pass out to the wide area, they'll come. But when they come, in terms of when they press, it's not just one player pressing. You tend to find it's twos and threes. They'll try and crowd that the guy, whoever's got the ball, whoever's the ball carrier, they'll try and crowd him out for him to make a mistake. Then when they win the ball in that position, they've got that numerical advantage to obviously go into the opposition goal.
Do you think the key is in midfield to be that wee bit sharper, quick, switched on, and the speed of passing's got to be bang on tonight as
It
well?
will be, because they will be on top of us. There's no doubt they're a very good level of side. So we need
For any Celtic fan at all thinking that we're just going to turn up, blow this team away because we're at Celtic Park, it's just not going to happen.
We definitely need to be on top of our game. We need to play at the level we played the last few games, especially at the weekend there. And we probably need a bit of luck as well in comparison to like, the last game against Atalanta. We need things to go our way as well and to be at our very best. But I think the Celtic Park with the fans behind us, if we play kind of at our very best, I think we've got a decent shout at kind of causing an upset.
I think we've got to be, if it's Engels, Hatate and McGregor, it's got to be, 2-3 touches.
It's quick.
It's got to be one touch pass, two touch max pass to play through their pressure, because as I said, those players will come and hit you hard as they can to try and force that error. So it's going to be that the sort of interplay between those three is going to be key, I think, in the middle of the park. But also the thing that I really like us to do is, as soon as we're doing that little interchange and play in the middle of the field, get it wide to Maeda and Kuhn, or get it in behind if it's going to be Kyogo or Ida.
You're finding that with Alistair Johnston and Valle now as well, that they're coming in and they're being part of these kind of 1-2s as well, so that can open up going forward for the likes of kind of Kuhn and Maeda. So
definitely.
Looking forward to it. I'm not want to get too over the top, but I am kind of quietly confident, shall we say, and I'm very anxious looking forward to tonight anyway.
Well, we comment here for Francis Lester. Francis was on the dial-in last night. He's usually our first caller on every week. Francis says, the fact that we don't have an option to buy Alex Valle, do you think we'll already be looking now for a new left back, or do you, because he says, I don't think Taylor is going to sign a new deal, and I think he's looking to kind of move on.
They're playing hardball a wee bit.
Obviously, the situation with Valle is similar to Adam. We didn't have a buy option on Adam, but we still managed to go and get.
I think,
from what I'm hearing for Valle, I think he's been really pleasantly surprised that Celtic. I don't think he knew much about us in terms of before.
I can understand his position in the deal. I think he looked at the deal and went, I want to go and play. So Celtic gave him that option to play, and it's Champions League level, so he's went, right, okay, that's where I'm going to go and play my football. He didn't want to tie himself into that because he didn't really know what to expect. But listen, as you said, he might come here and be surprised at how the manager is, the facilities, the country, the city. He might buy into that and say, do you know what, I like to play here for another couple of years or whatever. I would love for that to
Because
happen.
it keeps a holiday, doesn't it?
Look
It
at Paulo
does.
Bernardo.
Players.
Look
Yeah.
at Paulo
Bernardo
Bernardo.
as
He was
well.
desperate to come
Definitely.
back.
We had an option with Bernardo though. It was like
Aye, we
similar
did
to
the
Aberdeen.
buy option.
But we
did have a-
renegotiated that buy option.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was
no,
basically
totally, yeah,
that
but-
was
Yeah.
that was nil
We
and
never
nil.
had a buy option
Aye.
for Adam either, but we spent the whole
I
summer
would-
trying to negotiate
I
something
would
from.
I would really like us to do that now with Alex Valley and try and get him to come in and commit to a deal for next
T.
season.
McLaughlin says I'd give Barca 2.5 in January and get the deal done pronto. I don't think it's going to be that easy though.
I don't think so. It may be a wee bit
A
more than
talented
that.
lad like that, mate.
It might be a wee
Going
bit
to
more
cost
than
us
that.
more than
I-
I
2.5.
could add in Bernabe as well, right?
Is
Yeah,
that
the
what
thing
it
is-
is?
The thing is as well, he's absolutely flying over an international.
I think
And he's
it's.
playing with the guy that won against Rangers, the guy Borey, the striker.
Oh right,
He's
aye.
setting him up for goals and stuff. So
Aye.
Sell it at 1.8
Culture shock
$8.3
for him,
million
I
for him.
think. Is
Yeah.
that what they're asking for, is it?
Aye, 10 million
Brazil,
euros.
Brazil has a bit of money,
Jesus.
right enough. Brazil does have a bit of money.
much,
I think going back to Alex Valley, I'd like to see a deal done for him quickly. That's easier said than done. I think there's a lot of factors involved in that. He needs to assess where he wants to be next year. He might even say to himself, you know, if I have a great season at Celtic, I might go to Barcelona and I could be fighting for a position. We don't really know what the ins and outs of it are. Don't know how he spoke to Hansi Flick, the Barcelona manager. He might have said to him as well, go and get some games, come back and we can reassess in the summer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors in that. I think there is a lot of talk about Greg Taylor at the minute and his contract situation. I think Greg's probably just looking at his options at the minute and playing a bit of hardball with Celtic. I don't know. Part of me thinks that
Ryan says that Vi is an upgrade on Taylor.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think Greg Taylor's playing a bit of hardball, but I've got a feeling Greg Taylor will end up signing a new deal.
I think he is an upgrade, but
But he is. I think Alex Valley's an upgrade.
I think it was
There's
a
an
great compliment
upgrade,
to Taylor at the weekend when Brendan says we needed to clean up the game
Aye,
a wee bit
I
and he
saw
brought
that.
Taylor on. That was part of the substitution and then he thought so.
I think we'll only find out how much an upgrade he is the more that Valle gets games. I think we're only seeing the beginning of his potential just now.
Yeah.
I think the more games that Valle plays, I think we'll see him getting kind of better and better game on game.
I think we're coming to a point now where I'm going to have to ask you for team lines, etc. So we'll start with William. Both teams.
Both teams, yeah. So I
You
think.
know more about Leipzig than I do.
So I think in terms of the Celtic team, the Adam Ida one is the one I've been querying whether it's going to be him and Keogh go out. But do you know what? I'm going to just stick with what I was thinking originally. I think it'll be the same team as Saturday.
Celtic
The
team.
Celtic team.
Okay.
It'll be the same team as Saturday. Going back to the Leipzig game, I think it's going to be the same. It'll probably be the same team that played against Borussia Dortmund at the weekend. So it'll be Golatsky in goals, Heinrichs at right back, Willie Orban and Klosterman in centre back positions, Geertruida out at left back. The two holding midfielders, Vermeeren and Hydra. Then you'll have Nussar and Baumgartner left and right wing, and Openda and Šeško, who are frighteningly dangerous up front. As I said, Openda and Šeško will get goals for them, so I think that's their team for tonight.
It's just a regular day in the park for Celtic tonight, big man, innit?
Alan's looking at notes
I
here.
agree with William with that Leipzig team, right? Aye, everything he said.
Aye, no, listen, I can't disagree because I think William's bang on, folks, in that Marco Rose is one of the managers. He's a creature of habit, and he kind of likes to stick to, unless he's got injuries and stuff, he likes to kind of stick to
He
his
also
own.
knows what Celtic Park's like because he brought Salzburg here. 2018, I think it was.
There's Brendan.
Yeah.
Aye, I remember the Europa League in 2018. I'm sure it was. So he knows he'll have the team prepared for what they're getting into tonight. But I think it's just going to be how the younger players react to the noise, the atmosphere, and how Celtic approach the game.
Yeah,
One of our regular commenters, Lindsay Greenwood, she says, "Morning, boys, just catching you in Florida. Hail, hail, come on, the boys tonight. Well,
Nice one.
enjoy yourself in Florida, Lindsay. I hope you have a lovely time if you're out there with your..."
It's got about a sort of delight there, isn't it?
Tell you what, they must be paying your man a fortune there at Butland's doing his red coats, man, I'm telling you. But I hope you have a lovely time, pal. Hope you enjoy yourself. Right, big man, teams. Obviously, you've picked me.
Picked the Leipzig one, but
Right, okay.
I spoke to William before. I've got to agree again. I think it'll be the exact same team as the weekend. So that'll be Schmeichel, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Valle,
You struggling?
McGregor. I'm trying to get that up. McGregor,
I said the same team as Saturday.
Tati, Engels, Kuhn, Maida and Kyogo. I get you're thinking about Adam Ida, but I just think we're going to try and be on the front foot as much as possible tonight, and I think when we're on the front foot, you look at how dangerous Kyogo's runs can be. So I think we'll definitely start Kyogo, and prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Celtic.
Celtic. What about you?
I was exactly the same as that.
You got to go for a 2-1 victory, eh?
So it'll probably be 2-1 to Leipzig, given
Leipzig,
my latest form. Given my latest form and predictions. That's how I don't bet, by the way. Don't lose
Well,
money.
obviously, I'm going to go for the same team as William over at Leipzig. I don't think he'll change much there.
No.
I was just actually trying to remember my Celtic players, and when you were rhyming them off, I was like, it was like a brick hitting me every time. You were like, right, he's good, he's good, he's good, he's good.
They are top players.
They'll be saying that about us as well.
They will
Listen,
be,
I know they will, and I know Marco Rose is very respectful and stuff. He knows, and he's commented about Celtic being a very good side, even separate interviews when I've come up against them before. So
Yeah, he's actually, obviously, when Tedesco was a manager at RB Leipzig, they had Jesse Marsch before that, and then Tedesco came in, similar sort of play that Jesse Marsch had implemented. It didn't really work, so they went. So the people in charge of Red Bull basically went.
Well, I get beat with the team across the city with that manager.
Well, I
so
know exactly.
Obviously, it didn't really work.
Yeah, it didn't. So he only lasted 6 months, I think, there. But the guys in charge of Red Bull basically looked at it and says, look, we had Marco Rosa, really successful with Salzburg. I think they broke the records in Austria for the most points in the league.
Yeah.
Got them to Europa League semi-finals, I think it was, and maybe even a quarter-final the year after as well. They've obviously just dropped him into Leipzig, and it works. It just works. So
And they did beat us under Ange.
Yeah.
They beat us under Ange, but I think there's one noticeable thing. We've spoke highly regarding Kasper Schmeichel, William, about the way he can just ping balls. We spoke about it last night.
Yeah, his distribution.
And there was one, I don't know if you remember it, Aberdeen were really pressing down on us, and it didn't look like he had a lot of time, and he just floated it right out to AJ.
Aye,
he
I
just
remember
took
that.
about 3 or 4 of their players out the game, and it was just like, 1 minute you're thinking, we're under pressure here, and the wee man just went, no, we're not, there we go. And that's the difference, because you remember Joe Hart's mistake in Leipzig, where he gives
that away.
Was it, what's the boy, the striker? Silva?
Aye.
He gave it to Silva, and Silva scores. The night you'll not see that, they play a ball like that, Kasper's going to find a way out, so whether that's into Hatate, into Engels, or it's out to Vai, or out to AJ, that's what he's looking for.
Definitely, I think it will be interesting to see, because looking at how Leipzig had approached what the pressing strategy was, especially at Dortmund, the goalkeeper at Dortmund can do that at times as well, but they tend to sit off them. So you actually see when Dortmund were playing the ball back to their goalkeeper at the weekend, Šeško and Openda weren't even in the box. They were just standing outside the box going, right, where are you playing it? And when they played it to a defender, then they all went and pressed at that point. So it'll be interesting to see whether they do put that immediate pressure on Schmeichel. I don't think they will. I think they'll almost sit back and go, right, how are you going to play this? Try and close off all the options in the defence, and maybe try and force Schmeichel to go long, which then might open up the argument for Adam Ida.
Yeah.
That might open
So I'm going to go with the same team as William said for Leipzig. And Barry Barron's totally turned my head. I really think he'll play Ida tonight.
He said that he felt Adam Ida would start tonight.
Up against quality sides, Barry reckons that we need a focal point now. I'd never really thought of this until even at Celtic Park. I still think he can play front foot football with Adam Ida. He can do that as well. He's a big battering ram. I mean, up against the 2 big boys at the back, like you've said, the boy Orban's very physical. I just think play Kyogo up against 2 guys like that, you're as well chucking a square sausage up a close.
Kyogo's movement, that's the most dangerous part of
but that's a good thing about that's what's also swaying me. Is that going to happen? Because Kyogo movement, they're big lads, they don't like moving about.
I think Kyogo's going to drop deep a lot tonight, to be honest. I think he's almost going to go to Auburn and Klosterman and come and follow me, because it's going to create a gap.
And then you're going to have Maeda and Kuhn going dink.
I think you'll probably see Kyogo get involved more with the midfield build-up at that point, and then turning, because he's got that turn of pace that he can drop deep and then instantly get in.
We saw the second goal, his goal against Rangers in the 2-1 game. Where he drops, Goldson follows him, he spins and Goldson's lost.
That's right.
And he just spins by him and away he goes.
He's got that in his locker. That's why I think tonight at home he'll stick with Kyogo and he'll take that approach. Don't get me wrong, they might get to the second half and go, it's not right playing Adam Ida on at that point. Then that gives Leipzig something different to really think about, because he's a completely different striker to what Kyogo is.
Christoph is on again. He says, at this time of the season, we are favourites for this match without pretension. Celtic's progressing, RB Leipzig are in depression mode. I think he's obviously looking at it, they've not got a point in the Champions League. I do think if we beat them tonight, folks, they certainly are under severe pressure. But I'm going to go a change. I think Kyogo drops out. by the same team on Saturday, except Adam Ida comes in for Kyogo. But if not, I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed either way, because we do have quality assets in my side. And on that note, gentlemen, I think that's the end of our wee chat. We're all looking forward to the game, folks. We hope you guys are as well, the commenters. Thanks very much for your comments. I do apologise we're not able to get through them all. And obviously we're wee full start this morning as well. But if you are new to the channel and you do like what you've seen, please hit a like and subscribe. It's totally free and you can become a member of the Celtic Unrestricted View family. A wee update for you also. We are not doing John Baird chat tomorrow. So John was meant to be on with us at 12 noon. That has now been rescheduled to next Tuesday and at the same time of 12 noon. Tomorrow we will be on at an earlier time of 11 AM. Myself, Ryan and Alan, and we will be doing a live chat again. I don't think we're in a live chat reaction from tonight's match versus Leipzig.
We're all boycotting Red Bull. No Red Bull allowed.
There's no
anywhere.
No Red Bull to be seen in sight. Coffee.
No Red Bull.
Grab a coffee. William, thanks very much for joining us again, mate.
Thanks again for having us, and hopefully that was insightful to yourselves and everybody watching.
Yeah, I'm sure it always is, mate. Sure it always is. That's why we get you along, because you seem to know a lot more of the opposition than the other guys. Although I need to start learning, I think I'm going to need to pick up some tips.
That's fine. Thanks.
But no, above all else, take care. Hail, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Now I need to turn this off.
Hello.
So here we go.
Get a wee remote or something.